definitely need my ears for this one. Hey YouTube, it's Miranda, and today we are talking about auditioning for Disney. I figured for this video there was no other choice of attire than my rose gold spirit jersey and my rose gold ears. Back to the topic at hand. I have auditioned for Disney 3 times. The first 2 times I auditioned in New York City at, I think it's called, so let me look it up real quick. Pearl Studios in New York City. By the way guys, my voice has been a little scratchy the past few days, so if it goes in and out, I'm really sorry. If you want to know what my voice normally sounds like, just check out a previous video. Anyway, I actually applied twice for the Disney College program. The first time I did not get in, and the second time I did. But both times I auditioned to be a character performer. So the first time I was absolutely terrified, like sick for days. The morning of the audition, my boyfriend actually went with me to New York so that, you know, just because I was like, I didn't want to go alone and I was a little younger and whatever. So he went with me and we woke up at like 5 in the morning because the audition started at 10. It takes about an hour for me to drive to the train, and then it takes about 2 hours on the train. So our travel time was about 3 hours. So we got up at 5 in the morning, and at 5 I was texting him like, I'm not going, I can't do it, like I'm too sick, like I don't feel good, I think I'm actually sick. And knowing all along like I was only sick because I was so terrified. So this brings me to my first piece of advice for you guys about a Disney audition is do not be so terrified. I look back and I'm like, why was I so scared? Like seriously, everyone at that audition was there because they loved Disney, they wanted to work for Disney, and it felt competitive because it was an audition against all these people, but at the same time, it didn't feel so competitive in the way that you couldn't talk to people. I made friends at my first Disney audition that I'm still friends with on Facebook, Snapchat, things like that. It was actually nice to have people to talk to that were also so excited about being there. Obviously I didn't get accepted to the college program the first time, so that time I was like hearing people that had gotten accepted, and it was like super exciting for them and also kind of like intimidating for me, but also like so exciting for me to get. It just kind of like gave me a sense of like hope almost, because people were finding out like that day, so I almost felt like maybe I still have a chance. I know this sounds bad, but in the moment it felt good, it felt fun. And then the audition itself was like a good time. I'll go through the audition process in a minute, but I want to talk about my next 2 auditions. So the next audition was also in New York City at the same place for the same thing, character performer for the Disney College program. And this time I actually got into the college program, so I had heard before the audition, so I was one of the ones that was telling people about my acceptance and like what role I was going to be. So overall, the next audition was a better experience. The audition was the exact same as the last one, so I should have like totally aced it, but I don't have any dancing or acting experience. I do enjoy singing, but only like to myself or like with my family, you know. I haven't really done it anywhere else, so. And you don't sing for the audition, don't freak out. But the point is, I don't have like a performing background except that I play a lot of instruments and I was in the band in high school. So the second audition was basically the same thing, except I already knew I was accepted to the college program this time, but I met a ton of people, and I met people that I actually ended up hanging out with on my college program and seeing multiple times throughout my college program, so that was really neat. And then my third audition was during the college program when I was living in Florida. They had an audition for people that wanted to extend into a character performer role, which obviously would have been absolutely amazing. This audition was at the Animal Kingdom rehearsal facility is what it's called, and I think they have a lot of auditions there. If you go on the Disney auditions page, there's tons of auditions at this facility. It was just like a big building. It had like a big room that everyone just piled into, and you sat there talking about the college program. I went with most of my roommates. Everyone pretty much wanted to audition because, like I said, auditioning is not actually a scary thing. Like, you should go in with like the mindset of this is going to be fun and whatever happens, happens, because it's not an intimidating thing once you get there. Okay, enough about the places that I was and whatever. Let's talk about the actual audition process. So all 3 auditions were the exact same. Like, seriously, it was kind of funny to me because you think like, I don't know, maybe it's a benefit to them that if you learn the audition process in one, you can better yourself and come back ready. But to me, I thought that was kind of interesting that they didn't switch it up so that you're like, you know, keep you on your toes, see how well you can do. But the audition went like this. You get to the audition, you sit down in a room, whether it was in New York or Florida or probably wherever else, sit down in a big room with everybody that's there. You check in on your phone on this website that they tell you to go to. You get a number that you like put on your shirt or whatever. Then they break you up into groups. So they'll take like, I think they took 30 people at a time, something like that. And they took us in groups into a different room. And in that room, they had us do this posing thing. First, you had to make like a big pose and act like you were being someone, just like have it in your brain. You didn't have to tell them what it was or anything. You just had to do this big, you know, like really theatrical pose. Then you had to like animate your pose. So they told you to envision that you were interacting with a guest that was really small and one that was really tall. I don't even remember, you know, I think I did like Anna, because I remember making a snowball and throwing it and then like tossing it into the little person's arms, like something like that. Theater people probably watch this and are like, what are you talking about? But that's how I interpreted the little project that they had us doing. They came around and they were kind of looking at us to see how we were doing that, and then they stopped us and kind of gave us some feedback, some pointers, and then had us do it again. And they were like, guys, don't be afraid, like make it really big, make your movements, you know, this, you're in a big suit and you can't talk, like you want to make sure that they understand what you're doing just by your movements. What I loved about that part was that they were giving us feedback. Like, it didn't feel like you had to go in there knowing what you were supposed to do right away. Wow, that's a plus. They weren't exactly expecting that. Like, they knew that they were gonna have to like guide you a little bit and then see what you took away from that. They actually used me for an example in that activity, which was kind of scary but cool. They like said, so it looked like she was like making a snowball. That's why I remember what I was doing, because they actually said that to me. And they were like, if you were making a snowball, make it really big. I know you make a snowball kind of small, but make it really big and make it really obvious as to what you're doing. So then the next part of the audition was that they taught us this little like dance move, like a parade dance, and it was literally just like a 16 count dance that you did like walking, and you had to do this arm wave thing with a box step, and you had to do this like pivot turn and this march. It was basically just that, like 16 counts of four different little movements, and the dance was the same at all 3 auditions. Like, that's what's crazy to me, is that they didn't like switch it up or anything. Like, it was the same dance at every single audition. So I should have had it down. Like, I should have had that perfect. So yeah, they had us do that 16 count dance, and we did it all together in front of these mirrors, and then they broke us into groups of like 4, and we did it down the room in like a line. So they'd count off 1, 2, 3, 4. The group would go. When they got to the end, the next group would go across, and so on and so forth. That was the scariest part, because all eyes were on only 4 people at that moment. So that was like terrifying. Like, oh my god, everyone's looking at me, I'm gonna mess up. What I kept telling myself was just smile, like pretend I'm dancing in my bedroom like I always do. Like, just if you mess up, make something up, just do something, because if you pause there like frozen, that's the worst thing you can do. Keep a smile on your face, but not like a fake smile. Like, don't be like you need to be like relaxed, like normal, keep it cool. And then after the dance, they basically sit you all down and they call out a bunch of numbers of people that they want to stay, and then the rest of the people get to go home. And unfortunately for me, I don't know what the rest of the audition experience is like, because I've been sent home all 3 times, but it was totally fine, because like I said, the audition experience is actually so fun. My tips to you guys, just be confident when you go in there. Even if you're not feeling confident, just walk in with a smile on your face and act like you know what you're doing. Not like in a cocky way or anything, just like go in there and just don't act like timid or anything. If you go in there like, I've never danced before, like if you're talking to the person next to you like, oh, are you scared? And they say, no, like I'm so excited. Guess who's going through? Not you. Go in there and just be excited and happy to be there. Talk to someone, make a friend, add them on Snapchat, because then you have someone to talk to afterwards, whether they make it and you don't, you both make it. You just made a friend. Make the experience memorable for yourself in a good way, whether you make it through or not. Just have fun with it, because the Disney audition experience is not a scary thing. I've done it 3 times now. If it was terrifying after that first one, I would have never gone back. And all the casting directors were actually really, really nice. You think that they were gonna be like, you know, there's so many people that they're dealing with, you think they just wouldn't have time for you, but they all were really happy to be there and seemed really excited to meet everyone and everything. So I had 3 really good experiences with casting directors and with the Disney audition experience. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I hope this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe so you never miss a video. Be sure to leave questions down in the comments of things about the Disney college program. If you have any questions at all, I'd love to answer them. If you want to know anything about the college program, about Disney in general, like seriously, I'm your girl. Or if you have any other video suggestions, I always take those as well. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Miranda_13. That's in the description box down below and in the end slate at the end of the video. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!